Thank you for attending today. Many of your answers have shown how important it is to have accurate estimates of costs and savings, etc. So I'd like to turn to the Home Office's contribution to the infamous black hole. So Matthew, under your leadership, the Home Office got into the habit of not providing an accurate estimate of asylum expenditure in each June's main estimate memorandum laid before Parliament. What was the reason for this?
Well, I set this out to the Home Affairs Select Committee and the Public Accounts Committee at the time. The reason was that in that spending review, which I think was the 2021 spending review, the then Home Secretary and the then Chief Secretary of the Treasury agreed that given the uncertainties in the asylum intake, and therefore the costs that we would need to be spending on accommodation, that rather than having that on our baseline in our budget, we would have an in-year negotiation to receive that amount of money. So that is why in the last two financial years we had quite a significant addition to our budget at supplementary estimates. After the election and in the first round of this spending review, that was corrected for this financial year. So we don't have that issue for this financial year, and I don't think we're going to have it from here on, because the current Home Secretary, the current Chief Secretary have reached agreement on a different way of managing the Home Office's budget.
I see that, and I have your answer from December 23, and you're absolutely consistent in your approach. Were you right, though? Under the Treasury guidelines, you are the accounting officer. Under the guidelines, it says here you are required to give a complete, accurate and consistent... So you must ensure the estimates are complete, accurate and consistent with parliamentary and Treasury requirements and consistent with their best forecast of requirements. So even though you were told not to include these figures, were you right?
I think that it's a good challenge, I may say. So I think that we were clear all along that the amount that we had on our baseline would need to be topped up, and we didn't know how much it would need to be topped up by. And so that is why I was keen to ensure that this Select Committee and the Public Accounts Committee knew that was the agreement of the politicians at that time.
Is that good enough? Or should you not have said to Power, look, no, I have to give an estimate. I can't be exactly accurate, of course, but I can give a better estimate than nothing.
Well, that is what we're doing now.
No, but why didn't you do it? Because my answer is, why didn't you do it then? And are you the right person now to actually say to Power, to government, no, that's not right?
Well, I think that I definitely have a track record of speaking truth to power, so I'm not worried about that aspect. I also think that there are different ways to skin a cat, and on this occasion, at that time, there was a requirement for the Home Office to accept a settlement which did not allow us in totality to be able to meet our statutory obligation to provide asylum accommodation to asylum seekers. But because it was a statutory obligation, we knew, therefore, that we needed an additional top-up. And we reached agreement at that time, so it was all part of the single agreement, that there would be an almost automatic top-up from the reserve for what we needed. It wasn't a sort of total blank check, and it shouldn't have been, because obviously we needed to keeping costs down and in the normal value for money way. So I think it was a reasonable way of dealing with a not brilliant situation, and we have regularised the situation at the last spending review.
You have no regrets for not providing an estimate?
I tend to use the phrase "with the benefit of hindsight" quite a lot in this role, and I think with the benefit of hindsight, there are other ways that I and we could have managed that situation, but I think that within the constraints that we were operating in at that time, the agreement that the then Home Secretary and the then Chief Secretary reached was acceptable, and provided that we were clear with committees that was the way that we were going to get our baseline topped up.
Thank you.